So you're thinking about moving to Dallas. Well, you know what? There's some things that you need to know because Dallas just may not be the right place for you. Now, listen, I have lived in Dallas. I was born and I grew up here. So these things I'm just accustomed to. And that's okay because I absolutely love Dallas. But you need to understand Dallas may not be for everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to get after it right now. All right, so let's talk about the summer heat because it's absolutely no joke. I mean, we're talking triple digit numbers to where when you get in your car, your steering wheel feels like a branding iron. Matter of fact, this summer is really a mild summer. Yes, we've had temperatures in the mid and upper 90s, but we're at the end of July and we haven't hit 100 degrees yet. You know, I remember back in the summer of 1980, I was going into my senior year of high school. Yes, that does date me. But we had temperatures, 69 days of over 100 degrees. And as a matter of fact, the hottest temperature was 113 degrees. Now, I drove a 1976 Monte Carlo. Man, that car was badass. But it had pleather seats. Now, you guys remember pleather, right? Well, if you didn't have a towel on the seat of your car, when you got in that car, I promise you would have ended up with third-degree burns on the back of your legs. And that wasn't even the hottest summer on record. The hottest summer on record was 2011, where we had 71 days, consecutive days of over 100 degrees. It gets hot. Now, on the flip side of that, you know, you're tired of being a snow bunny, or you're just tired of the really cold, long winters, then Dallas may be a good option for you because we have mild winters. We don't get a lot of snow. And as a matter of fact, if it does, it's usually gone within a 24 to 48 hour period. We have amazingly wonderful falls and springs where the temperatures hovers in the 60s to the 80s, and it is so nice. So if you can't stand the heat, as they say, then get out of the kitchen. Well, if you can't stand the heat, then Texas and Dallas may not be for you. Okay, so another reason you may not want to move to Dallas is the traffic sprawl. I mean, in one word, the best way I can describe it is spaghetti, and not the good kind. You know, Dallas is large and spread out. So depending upon where you are working and you're living, I mean, that may be another full-time job just driving to and from work. It's not unusual for it to take an hour and a half with traffic and rush hour times to get from one place to another. Dallas is really spread out. And then if you're coming from the suburban areas, depending upon which freeway system you have to take, it can be an absolute nightmare. You know, and that gets us to another reason why you might not want to move to Dallas is because we don't have the best mass transit system. You know, if you're coming from New York or you're coming from Chicago, heck, even Denver, and you're used to a great mass transit system to get you anywhere you want to go, Dallas doesn't have it. Yes, we have the DART system, and that is our light rail system and our bus system. And it can get you into some points, particularly if you're going to the downtown area, but it doesn't get you everywhere. So you are basically going to be relying on a car, and you're going to be car dependent to get everywhere else. Now, it is fantastic if you're going to the downtown area for a concert or for one of the Mavs games, you know, and you need to go into the American Airlines Center downtown. Now, DART's the way to go because it'll get you in, it'll get you out, and you won't be sitting in traffic for hours when the game or the concert releases. So there are advantages as far as that's concerned. But overall, our mass transit system, quite frankly, it just sucks. Okay, now for all of you allergy sufferers, Dallas may not be the place for you. Can you say cedar fever, a ragweed rumble? Look, Dallas has a very high pollen count, and allergies, particularly in the spring and the fall, well, they can be killer, okay? I typically am not one that's bothered by allergies, but there are days when those counts are high that, man, it even knocks me for a loop. So the best advice that I could give anybody that is looking to move to the Dallas area is stock up on Claritin, because you will be using it. You know, right behind me, they're actually mowing, so it's kicking up all that grass. I'm probably going to be feeling it a little bit later today. So if you are a huge allergy sufferer, yeah, Dallas might not be the best place for you, because I can promise you it will kick you and you're going to be miserable at least 2 times a year. Okay, so one of the other things that we've talked about before are the high property taxes. Look, a lot of people get sticker shock when they see how high the property taxes here are. And as a matter of fact, it's probably one of the highest in the United States, not gonna lie. And they can be very expensive. Now, on the flip side of that, we do have our homestead exemption, which if it's your primary homestead, you do get a break on your assessed value. So that helps a little bit. But the other thing is, we don't have a state income tax. So if you're coming from a state where there is a state income tax, most of the time that is going to offset that, counterbalance that, and usually you'll end up paying less in property taxes than you would have paid in your state income tax. But the thing is, you need to understand that's just one of the expenses you're going to have to account for, is going to be your property taxes. And there are people, depending upon if it's in a MUD or a PID, that has an extra tax added to it. There are people that have been like, whoa, are you kidding me? You've got a 2.4% property tax rate? Well, yeah, we do. And that's just, I mean, it is what it is. So property taxes, yeah, unfortunately, they are going to be high when you get here. So just get ready for it. Okay, so now let's talk about our Texas weather mood swings, because quite frankly, it can be a little bipolar sometimes. You know, it is beautiful, 80 and sunny degrees out there until it's not. So we've got a saying here, you know, just wait 5 minutes and the weather's going to change. And that really is true. But with that being said, there are a lot of things that you need to understand we have here in Texas that you may or may not be accustomed to. We do have spring weather, and our spring weather can be, well, here goes the leaf blower. But our spring weather can be pretty, how do you say it? Gnarly, okay? We do get bad hail storms. Our thunderstorms, it will rock you out of bed certain nights. We do have tornado watches, you know, that will come through. So weather absolutely can be, like I said, it's bipolar. It's great 1 minute and then all of a sudden it's not. If you're not accustomed to weather like that, just need to know that you are going to get some extreme weather events. That's part of the reason why the insurance for your house is so expensive, because we do have that. We do have hailstorms. We do have, you know, not necessarily, we do have some little flash flooding, but it's not like other parts of the country experience. But just know that weather could be a contributing factor. Okay, so another reason why you may not want to move to the Dallas area is the rapid growth and expansion. Look, the word is out. Everybody is moving to Texas and to the Dallas area. And quite frankly, in my opinion, Texas, well, it's the greatest state there is. Of course, I'm a little biased and I understand that. But because of the rapid growth, we are experiencing some growing pains. I mean, there's a lot more housing demand. The job market, while is fabulous, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, there is a lot more competition. We also are seeing higher prices on homes. So people really do like moving to this area, which has that ripple effect. So we're going to start seeing higher prices, more competition, and just those growing pains with the construction and building out the infrastructure. Now, let's talk about home prices. That is one of the reasons why people are moving to Texas, is because of the affordability. And that's one of the reasons why you might want to consider moving to Dallas. And as a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons you want to make sure that you give us a call, because we know where those affordable communities are. We've done videos on homes that you can still get, in the 300,000. Now, granted, you're going to be a little bit further out, but that's why you need to give us a call. All right. We are seeing affordable homes. We are seeing large homes on larger lots. It's not everywhere. And, if you're looking in Dallas proper, that basically is built out. And there are other suburban cities that are pretty much built out, but there's still a lot of growth and expansion in the neighboring suburbs and the neighboring communities where you can get some amazing deals on homes. Okay, and so now we're going to talk about, I guess, one I hear the most is the lack of topography. Well, what do I mean? Look, there is no way around it. It is flat. It is boring. There are no hills. There are no mountains. Yes, we've got trees you can see right behind me. And I had some clients that had reached out and they came in, and one of the things that they were looking for, because they were coming from Colorado, is they wanted something that was going to be very scenic, a lot of trees, maybe some rolling hills. And I get it. If I lived in Colorado, that would be something I would want as well. But you're just not going to get that here. You're going to be looking at pretty much flat land. Now, we do have some beautiful trees, beautiful parks, but, if that's what you're looking for, I can promise you Dallas is not going to be offering that to you. Okay, so if you've made it this far and you are okay with all of the reasons why people may not want to move to Dallas, let's talk about some of the reasons why people do want to move to Dallas. And first of all, that is going to be, we have a really strong job market, particularly if you're in the tech sectors, if you're in the finance, healthcare, and if you're in logistics. We have many of the corporate offices that are locating here into the Dallas area. We have the telecom corridor with all of the tech sector companies. We have got amazing healthcare companies here. So if you're looking for a place that's going to give you a very strong job market, in Texas and Dallas in particular, because it is so diversified, typically doesn't have a lot of the problems where some of the other areas of the country are seeing the decline in jobs. We typically are always going to have a very, very strong job market because of the diversity that is offered here in the Dallas area. So if you're looking for jobs in any of those areas, this definitely might be the place for you. Okay, so another reason why a lot of people do consider moving to this area is because of the diversified lifestyle options. Whether you're looking for the urban buzz, the suburban comfort, or the small town charm, check, check, and check. We've got it all. There are so many different options as far as what type of lifestyle you're wanting to lead. If you're wanting to be close to a lake, we've got options that are right around the Lake Ray Hubbard and Lake Lavon communities that are in that area. If you're looking for a more traditional home that you really love, the ranch style homes with the big trees and the big lots, we offer that as well. Plus, there are so many communities in this area that offer you that small town charm right close to Dallas, really within a 30-minute drive. So the housing options, the lifestyle options are really abundant here in the Dallas area. And that is one of the reasons why people do love moving to this area, because they have so many different options to choose from. You're not getting pigeonholed into a specific type of lifestyle. And with all those options, you find that you have fabulous schools and friendly suburbs. We've got Rockwall, Frisco, Prosper, just to name a few. And these are some of the popular areas that people are moving into. Number one, because you have your top rated schools. And if you have a young, growing family and that's important to you, you definitely want to give us a call. I'm a former educator and I know how important education is. And I know all of the best school districts that are around in this area. We get our information on niche.com, so you definitely want to check that out. But if you're looking for an A or an A+ rated school district, definitely reach out because we can help you with that. Okay, one of the other reasons that you might want to move to the Dallas area is, wow, we've got an amazing food scene. So if you're a foodie, yeah, this might be an option for you. Not only do we have the standard, the staples, the Mexican food, which everybody expects to get here in the Dallas, Texas area, barbecue restaurants, we definitely can steer you to some of the best places to eat. And a lot of times they're a little hole in the wall. But we also have diversified cuisines. You can find anything from your high-end steakhouses to Vietnamese, to amazing Italian food restaurants and the culture that goes along with it. Dallas really, it used to be known as just a meat and potatoes, steak and potatoes type of city, but it really has grown into a foodie's haven to where you have so many options in fine dining or just finding that little hole in the wall with great dining. And if you like sports, well, hello, here we go. We've got sports, we've got cultural events, we have art museums. Matter of fact, Dallas is one of the few cities that has a pro team for all of the sports. Whether you're looking at basketball, football, Dallas Cowboys, hockey, you've got baseball with the Texas Rangers. So you can hit all of the sports for all you sports fanatic fans. But we also have the art museum, sculpture museums. We've got kids museums. So there is absolutely no lack of the arts here in the Dallas area, and then the sports teams as well. So you can absolutely find the things that you wanted to do. And if you like going out in the evening, man, one of the really cool areas, in my opinion, is down in Deep Ellum. And I remember when Deep Ellum was just getting started. Once again, I won't date myself, but they have got so many cool bars, restaurants, events that go down there. They have got, just some really great outdoor patios, rooftop patios. So you definitely want to check out the Deep Ellum scene, or we can go down to the Bishop Arts District. They're revitalizing that. So you've got a lot of options as far as your sports and entertainment is concerned. All right, now we're going to wrap it up. And this is one of my favorite, I guess, and that is going to be that Southern hospitality. And yes, it really is a thing, y'all, okay? Your neighbors will get to know you. People are walking down the street. They smile and say hi to you. Gentlemen open the doors for ladies as they're going into a store. So that Southern charm absolutely is a true thing. So if you're looking for just a warm, inviting, friendly environment, then Texas and Dallas may absolutely be for you. All right, so look, that's my take on it. Like I said, I was born and raised here in Dallas. As a matter of fact, I lived here most of my life with the exception of a few years where I lived down in Houston, but I got back up to Dallas as fast as I could. Dallas is a great place to live, but as I said, it may not be for everybody. Give us a call, shoot us a text. Let's talk to see if Dallas is going to be the right place for you if you're thinking about moving here. Because I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the pros, the cons, the ugly about what it's like living here. It's like I said, I've been here my entire life. All right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll see you around the town.